Weather Warriors, welcome to your weekly weather outlook. We're talking about a pattern change in a stormy central U.S. in this edition of State of the Weather Address, your pulse on Mother Nature here. So this is your weekly overview from the 30th of September through the 6th of October. And I'm going to go over what this map here means in a second. But first, if you like weather forecasts daily, weather forecasting tutorials, and weather visualizations and extreme weather events, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you have any cool weather videos or photos, feel free to submit them if you want them on this channel. We're going to have some submissions here later in the video as well. So here's our weekly overview. This is for this week here, and we had a big old snowstorm here at the start in the northwestern United States. That's moving out, so it's going to start to be kind of it's going to start as a little bit of lingering snow, and then it's going to kind of transition just to cold and dry, and eventually after that start to warm up a little bit. In the northwestern United States here near Washington, it's going to be wet as we get later into the week. It's going to increase in wetness. Mostly cold here in the western United States. Average kind of in the Rockies and the southern southwest part of the United States. This is our feature here this week, the stormy central United States. That's where all our action is going to be this week. Temperature swings in the mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, northeastern region, and then far northeast, cold and dry, and then warm and dry here in the southwestern United States. Now, I'm going to go over your temperature outlook, your precipitation outlook, and then the second half of the video, we're going to go over what the weather models say day by day. So I'll kind of track you through this day by day. Now, here's the temperature outlook. This general pattern supports very cold conditions out in the western United States, where we're going to have much below average conditions. These are anomalies. Each contour represents a certain amount of degrees below average. Here's your key. So areas up here, we're talking maybe 5 to 8 degrees below average up in the northwestern United States. Generally, the northern third of the United States going to be about 1 to 2 degrees below average. This area in here is going to be just about average. It's not going to be like this every day. This is just an average for 7 days. So some days it might be warm, but some days it might be cold. And this is what it balances out to. Now, the southern half of the United States is going to be warmer than average, and then much warmer than average as you get towards the southeastern United States, as there's going to be some ridging down there. But the pattern will change a bit. Here's our precipitation outlook. Generally thinking below average precipitation out here, kind of in the central west area of the United States in the Rockies. This area is going to have periods of dry, but also periods of wet. So overall, I think it's going to kind of balance out to be about 10% above average. These are in percentages, above and below. Your best area for precipitation is going to be in the central United States, also the southwestern part of the United States, where I think there's going to be some decent storm chances in this area, especially in Nebraska, Iowa, and Wisconsin, where we could have 50% above average in that area, plenty of rain. Kind of generally below average here in the southeastern United States and average in between that. So that's your precipitation outlook. Now, before we get into the models and go day by day, how's the ENSO looking? The state of the ENSO, the ocean temperatures. This kind of helps us out with our pattern. Pretty warm out here still. They're going to be very warm. So I think you're going to start to see more ridging out west eventually here as we head towards winter. This area actually has warmed up a little bit where we measure our El Nino and La Nina. That's going to be interesting to watch here. I said it would bump back up, and that's what's happening, but it's doing a lot more than I thought it would. And then out here, it's kind of cooling just a bit, but it's still generally warmer than average in your North Atlantic area. So here's your El Nino, La Nina ordeal here. Again, your areas above and below. And it's actually starting to go back up to a dead center neutral stage. It was kind of trending towards a La Nina, but it's going back up. I think we're going to be in for a neutral pattern as we head towards winter. So that is that. Now, we're going to look at the pattern day by day here. We're going to look at the future radar, and then we'll look at our moisture fetch. Okay, so let's go around now here. And okay, go back to Monday. It's about impossible to draw stuff with these all these controls, but this is Monday here, and you can see there's going to be a cold front that sweeps down the central parts of the United States. Let me redraw that. And there's going to be some severe weather along that front. Snow lingers kind of behind here on Monday here, so really not a lot of snow, but going to be very cold back there, and the winds will start to taper down. Here's as we go towards Monday night to Tuesday morning here, here's your storms that blow up along that cold front. There's going to be plenty of storms along that, and cooler temperatures kind of behind that as well. Now, a lot of this cold front's moving fast, so a lot of these storms might be elevated, which will limit the severe weather potential a bit, but plenty of rain and some isolated severe weather. This extends all the way out to the northeastern United States, down to the southwestern United States on the day Tuesday and Wednesday. This is Wednesday night, some more rain, another shot of storms that develop in the Central Plains and move south. And then as we head towards Friday, Saturday, high pressure starts to build. So it does calm down in this area. Going to be cooler temperatures in the northern U.S. and northeastern United States as we head towards the weekend. But it's still going to be warm down here in the southwestern United States. I don't think the cold air is going to quite get down there in time. But that high pressure moves to the east as we head towards Saturday. Another shot of cold air, or of severe, potentially severe weather, but some thunderstorms out here in the central United States. High pressure back here, low coming out in the lee of the Rockies. This is a good setup for a strong low pressure system. And so I think you'll see some severe storms in some areas and generally some rain and thunderstorms as we head towards Saturday and into the end of the week. And this is going into early next week. Eventually that moves out early next week into the eastern United States. But as you can see, the central United States are going to be pretty active. So how about severe weather? We'll look at the instability real quick. All right, so we're going to look at instability right here to see our potential for severe weather. And this is Monday afternoon. There's obviously enough instability. All you really need is 1,000 or so. And there's, you got 1,000, 2,000. And as we head towards Tuesday, there's plenty of instability as well. So definitely some severe weather in the central parts of the U.S. here on Monday and Tuesday. As we head towards the rest of the week, there's really not a whole lot of that. And then that weekend storm I was talking about, there's really not a ton of instability here. There's some areas that have enough for severe weather, but overall I think it's going to be mostly isolated based off that look. How about the moisture? This is meteostar.com. You can look at precipitable water, and this measures kind of just the amount of precipitation in a column in the atmosphere. So the more the better, to put things in simple terms. With thunderstorms and stuff, severe weather, you're generally going to be wanting like the 1.25, 1 inch or above typically, maybe a little bit less as you head towards the Rockies. But this will start to die out as we head towards winter because the moisture will decrease in the atmosphere. But this is very important for rain and thunderstorms. So as we head towards, what day is this? Monday? Okay. So we're going to go Monday. And your black lines, your isobars, so you got a low pressure here. Your wind barbs, you can see drawing up plenty of moisture out here from the Gulf of Mexico. Low pressure system, cold front's going to be right there. That's a perfect setup for thunderstorms along and behind that front, and potentially some severe weather. There was instability. There's also some moisture. We'll have to look at the wind shear, but looking pretty good for severe weather. Tuesday, also potentially some severe weather as we head towards the Midwest and Central Plains again, as that cold front doesn't move too much. It's kind of right in this area right here, your low pressure. So right along and ahead of that front, potentially some severe weather. Then we'll go to Wednesday. Okay, hold on. There we go. Wednesday, Thursday. That moves into the east coast. But you can see the front's kind of disorganized, just a weak cold front. There's really not a whole lot of surface flow moving up. So the severe weather threat, probably not the best. Maybe some isolated storms along that as it tracks to the east. But cold and dry up here behind the front. But we're looking at this. We're starting to see some potential changes right there with that front. You're going to see some return flow come back up, and there it is as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. And there's going to be a low pressure system in the plains, a high pressure out here in the east, so cooler towards the end of the weekend, probably for the west and east coast. And it's going to be kind of stormy on the weekend as we got some more moisture to return. Now, it depends how far south that initial front goes. If it crashes into the Gulf, this severe weather threat here will dramatically lower. But if we can get enough return flow and enough warm air that returns, you could get some severe weather this weekend in the Central Plains. But right now, it looks kind of marginal. But definitely enough moisture for heavy rain and thunderstorms as well. So that's the general moisture for this weekend, throughout this week. So the second segment here is the Weather Warrior captures. Now these are some of the submissions that you guys sent in here to the channel. Now this was submitted by Donald Martin, and this was in Mercer County, Pennsylvania. And look at that. Spider web lightning is what he was calling it. And then look at that. You can just see it. This lightning just kind of swirl around into kind of a spider web shape. Very interesting looking ordeal there. Just lightning going all over the place. So very awesome shot, Donald. Then another shot here. Kind of out lightning strike, and then some clouds in the foreground, some scud clouds kind of in the foreground. So a pretty ominous scene there. So it looks like it was a pretty crazy night of lightning. This was sent in by Sue Meisner in Western Illinois. Pretty spooky looking storm system. Probably some scud, some low-lying clouds here, and some lightning in the background. So a pretty spooky scene, kind of something out of looks like something out of a movie or something. And then we got David Kretschmar from Hamburg, New Jersey. This was taken in 2017. You can see a beautiful probably a pretty strong thunderstorm, maybe even a supercell here, with you can see the precipitation falling back kind of in that dome region, and a nice little shelf cloud here kind of wrapping around. And so that looks like it was a pretty ominous storm, probably maybe even some rotation back there, and some pretty strong precipitation and beautiful colors here. Some sunset or sunrise maybe. I don't know when it was taken, but it does look like that. So it had some very good colors. And the best time to photograph storms, if you want colors, around sunrise or sunset during the golden hour. So that was a pretty good good storm. Nice road leading up to it. So pretty awesome shot there, David. So if you have any other captures, if any of you want these featured on the channel, just feel free to send me a message here or go to the Weather Warriors Facebook page. I'm eventually going to make a site so you can submit these things. But other than that, hit the subscribe button if you want weather forecast updates, tutorials, stuff like that. We release these on a daily basis. Hit those bell notifications. Give that thumbs up button some love if you like this video. And check out my winter forecast. I released that a couple of weeks ago. And again, comment below, have you ever seen a tornado? So hope you enjoyed the new weekly forecast. Kind of doing it like how we did in the old days on this channel. We kind of did those on the weekly basis and looked into the future. And I think we're going to kind of get back to that at least once a week. So hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon.